Oh my god, it's a Rattata! Okay, it's finally time to use this. Go, Dragon Ball!
You have summoned me. What is your wish?
I wish that this Rattata is the most top percent Rattata to ever live.
Okay. Very well then.
Rattata! What is going on, guys? This is Dobbs here, bringing you another Pokemon video. And in this video, I'm gonna go over the top 10 strongest Pokeballs of all time. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started.
Number 10.
Now these first four are gonna be pretty simple, but after that, it gets pretty wild. So, with that said, for number 10, we have the Quick Ball. Now, if you watch the Dobbs gaming channel, these balls are notorious for the challenge videos because they are super good for catching Pokemon super quickly. Because on the first turn, a Quick Ball has a 5 times catch modifier for the Pokemon that you're trying to catch. So if you get lucky enough, you might be able to catch that legendary Pokemon without breaking a sweat. And when it comes to wild Pokemon, they are even easier. Like, let's take Talonflame for example. That would be a great Pokemon to get in a challenge video. If you throw the Quick Ball on the first turn, you have a nearly 40% chance of catching it. That is the equivalent of throwing an Ultra Ball when it's at 25% health, which is really good odds. But that's about where the extent of the Quick Ball goes, because after the first turn, it becomes a regular Pokeball. And in other Pokemon media, like the manga or the anime, there really hasn't been any other feats with the Quick Ball, besides the fact that James has it in his Pokeball collection. So in terms of where it ranks, I think it's a solid number 10. But it only gets crazier from here, because the top 3 is not what you would expect.
Number 9.
Coming in at number 9, we have the Repeat Ball. Now this ball is another great Pokeball for the challenge videos on Dobbs Gaming, and I tend to use these the most. If you didn't know how it works, if you already own a Pokemon and you're trying to catch another, it will have a 3.5 times catch rate modifier, and it will be a lot easier to catch again. So let's say you're shiny hunting and you're trying to find, let's say, a Talonflame. In all likelihood, you probably own several Talonflames and you come across a shiny version of one of them. If you throw the Repeat Ball at 100% health, you will have a 30% catch rate on the Pokemon. And keep in mind, that's on any turn. And then let's say you full swipe it and just hope it doesn't do Brave Bird or something. You will then have a 69% catch rate on the Talonflame, which is incredibly good. Comparing to an Ultra Ball at 1 HP, it will only have a mere 45% catch rate on the Pokemon. So if you're risking the Talonflame recoiling itself to death, I would definitely throw the Repeat Ball instead. Because the last thing you want to do is fail a shiny Pokemon from recoil damage. But just like the Quick Ball, the Repeat Ball also has its shortcomings because you have to own the Pokemon before trying to catch another to utilize the catch rate modifier. So it limits the use of this Repeat Ball, which power scales it down just a tad. But it is still a very strong Pokeball, and that is why I chose it for number 9 for this list.
Number 8.
Coming in at number 8, we have the Netball. Now, the Netball caught me by surprise because I didn't realize how good of a ball it really is. Just like the Repeat Ball, it has a 3.5 times catch modifier on water and bug type Pokemon. And if you've been playing Pokemon throughout the years, you know that water type Pokemon are the most abundant Pokemon type there is. In fact, 16.1% of all Pokemon are water type. And when it comes to bug types, they are 9.4% of all Pokemon. So putting those two types together, that is a quarter of all Pokemon that can be caught by a Netball. So 1 out of every 4 Pokemon that you encounter can be caught with a 3.5 times catch modifier, which is insanely good. And to put it in perspective, if you catch a Talonflame, it will just be a 1 times modifier because that's not a bug or water type. But if you try to catch a Pokemon with the same catch rate, like Vikavolt, at full HP, you will have a 30% chance of catching it, which is about the same as the Repeat Ball, but keep in mind that you don't have to own the Pokemon before catching it. And at 1 HP, you will have a whopping 69% chance of catching the Pokemon, which is again the same as the Repeat Ball, but without owning the Pokemon, that is incredibly good. And yeah, that's really all there is to say about the Netball. It's just the Rocky of Pokemon. It is unexpectedly really good. And yeah, for that reason, that is why it is number 8 for this list.
Number 7.
Coming in at number 7, we have the Dustball. Now man, the Dustball is one of the greatest balls in the Pokemon games, and it was so good that it was nerfed in Generation 7. It went from a 3.5 times catch modifier at night or in a cave to just 3 times. And even at 3 times, that is still incredibly good. And looking at the Netball with the 3.5 times catch modifier when catching a water or bug type Pokemon, using a Dustball at night or in a cave just seems a lot better. Because there will always be a nighttime unless you live in Alaska during the summer, and there is also a ton of caves in a lot of the regions. The Dustball is just a really powerful ball. And on top of that, it has one of the greatest feats in the manga. Because if you didn't know, in the Pokemon Black and White manga, Monta caught a Kyurem with a Dustball. And really, because of this feat, that is why I chose the Dustball over the Netball, because this feat just gives it a lot of kudo points. So yeah, I definitely think the Dustball should be number 7 out of these first 4 simple Pokeballs. But after this, it starts to get a bit crazy, so prepare yourself.
Number 6.
Now this next one is a Pokeball that you probably don't even know about. So with that said, for number 6, we have the Stoneball. Now in episode 104 of the Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire anime series, there is a humongous stone Pokeball on top of a mountain. And out of all the Pokeballs on this list, this one is definitely the biggest one by about 1,000 times. And the reason why it's this big is because it was used to capture an evil clay doll that is gigantic as well. And on top of it being gigantic, it is also an ancient Pokemon that brought great destruction in Isabey Island, which is basically an anime exclusive location in the Hoenn region. Now, what makes the Stone Ball so strong is for the fact that it was made specifically to capture an evil, gigantic clay doll that brought destruction to everything it saw. Quite literally in the episode, you see this clay doll splitting water into 2 and hyper beaming and ice beaming everything that it crossed. Not to mention that Ash tried damaging it and throwing a Pokeball at it, but it was immune to both things. So it is quite possibly that this clay doll was immune to all balls except for the Stone Ball, and maybe the Master Ball, but I doubt Ash had one of those at his disposal. And simply enough, there is no other Pokeball on this list that was made specifically to capture and trap an evil spirit from destroying things. And I would have included the normal Pokeball X1 from the Pokemon manga to capture Black Fog, but the Haunter used Explosion and destroyed the ball. And given that Clay Doll is kind of known for Explosion and the Stone Ball has withstood it, I just thought the Stone Ball was the better ball to put on this list. So yeah, the Stone Ball is definitely a unique ball while being a very strong Pokeball. And that is why it is number 6 for this list.
Number 5.
Now, this next one is really simple, but also very powerful. So with that said, for number 5, we have the Parkball. Now, the Parkball was made for the Pal Park back in Generation 4. And the Pal Park was basically an area where you could migrate old Pokemon to Generation 4 from Generation 3. And how it went down is that you would go into the grass and find your own Pokemon and throw a Pokeball to capture it yourself. And of course, Game Freak didn't want you to have a chance of failing your old Pokemon, so they gave the Parkball a 100% catch rate. And really, that's where the simplicity lies with this Pokeball. It's a Master Ball that can only be used in a certain area, which on one hand makes it a really powerful Pokeball, but on the other, it makes it kind of weak. I mean, technically, you're capturing another trainer's Pokemon when it's really yourself, so that gives it a few points, but on the other hand, it crashes the game when you try to use it outside the Pal Park. So in the end, I think the Parkball fits best at number 5 on this list, dead set in the center. And that's all there really is to it. It's a simple ball with a very powerful concept, but it has a limitation that brings it down a lot of notches. And that is why I chose it for number 5 for this list.
Number 4.
Now this one's gonna shock you, so prepare yourself. For number 4, I chose the Master Ball. Yes, you heard that right. Now, to most people, the Master Ball is known as the most powerful Pokeball of all time. But for this list, I don't think that's true to a certain extent. You see, the Master Ball is a very one-dimensional Pokeball. It just captures any Pokemon that you want without fail. And not only that, it's supposedly a very hard Pokeball to create, which limits it to only having one of them in each Pokemon game. And I'm not gonna lie, because of this limitation, it power scales it down quite a bit, because in the top 3, there seems to be an unlimited supply of the Pokeballs. Yes, when it comes to capturing Pokemon consistently, the Master Ball is definitely the best. But when it comes to the other aspects that makes it considered strong, I think it's a solid number 4. Because in the top 3, there are things that these Pokeballs do that are not just about catching the Pokemon. And you'll see what I mean by that here very soon. So yeah, the almighty Master Ball has been taken down from his throne, because there's a new challenger in town who is actually the king of Pokeballs.
Number 3.
Alright, here we are, the top 3, and you're probably wondering what on earth is better than a Master Ball. Well, for the first ball that is better, we have the Mewtwo Ball. Now, if you watched the very first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, you know that Mewtwo invites trainers to an island and captures the Pokemon that they own. And what did he capture them with? He captured them with his own Mewtwo Balls. No, not that balls, but an actual Mewtwo Pokeball. Now, the reason why the Mewtwo Ball is listed higher than the Master Ball is because, for one, these Pokeballs have a honing system and they can zoom in and capture a trainer's Pokemon with ease. And it seems it has a really nice catch rate because the only Pokemon the Pokeballs had trouble with catching was Ash's Pikachu. And then for 2, these Pokeballs not only capture the trainer's Pokemon, but then it clones it so that Mewtwo has his own copy of the Pokemon they caught, which is pretty broken. So basically, you have a Master Ball with a honing system that copies the Pokemon that it catches. And on top of that, it can capture trainer Pokemon, which is the first of its kind for this list. So when it comes to power scaling this Pokeball, it is definitely one of the best, but not the best, because the next 2 are even crazier. So that is why it is number 3 on this list.
Number 2.
Alright, for the runner-up for the strongest Pokeball, we have the Snag Ball. Now let me tell you, the Snag Ball was really close to being the strongest Pokeball on this list, but the one above this one has something that gives it a tad edge in the battle of the best. Now, for the first time ever in Pokemon Coliseum, the player is given a machine that transforms Pokeballs into Snag Balls. And what a Snag Ball is basically a transformed Pokeball that evolves into an enhanced version of itself. Because with each kind of Pokeball, it scales accordingly. So if you use an Ultra Ball, it'd be a better Snag Ball than a Pokeball would be. And when you use the Snag Machine, the Snag Ball becomes incredibly powerful because it allows you to capture other trainers' Pokemon. And not only that, if you do capture the trainer's Pokemon, it turns it into a Shadow Pokemon. And a Shadow Pokemon is basically an enhanced state where the Pokemon is completely evil, but is also incredibly powerful. When you compare the Snag Ball with the Mewtwo Ball only clones the Pokemon that it captures. It doesn't even steal the Pokemon, it just clones it and it gives it back to the trainer. So this Pokeball is insanely strong. And ultimately that is why it's number 2, but number 1 is even stronger. So let's go on to see what is the strongest ball of all time.
Number 1.
Alright, the strongest Pokeball in my opinion is the Dark Ball. Yes, the Dark Ball, the same one used by the Iron Mask Marauder. And if you don't know who this character is, he is the main antagonist of the Pokemon movie, Selby, the voice of the forest. And to really put this simply, the Dark Ball has everything that the Snag Ball has, but it makes the Pokemon max level. So it's capable of capturing trainer Pokemon, it turns them into something similar to a Shadow Pokemon, but the main difference is that it makes them max level. So once it captures, it's just instant level 100 on top of the Shadow buff. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. It was also the first Pokeball to ever capture a mythical Pokemon in the anime, and it's really what sparked the idea of Shadow Pokemon. So yes, I believe this is better than the Master Ball, better than the Mewtwo Ball, and better than the Snag Ball. And that's why I rank the Dark Ball as the strongest Pokeball to ever exist. The Dark Ball reigns king. And there you go, the top 10 strongest Pokeballs of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can click on the button right here. I spend days, if not weeks, on these videos, and the algorithm doesn't really favor that, so it helps me out a ton. Also, if you want to see more videos, be sure to click right here. I have a lot of Pokemon videos that you can binge watch, so have at it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. See ya!